Hi.
Camera. Oh, going late.
Hi, Rafa.
Hi.
How were the lads today? Have you had to lift them after the weekend defeat?
Yeah, I think that I said after the game that we were disappointed, but we have to concentrate on a very, very difficult game. So when you play against Manchester City, so you have to forget quickly and then be sure that you do the right things on the pitch. We're trying to recover players on Sunday and adjust everything today and trying to be ready for a very difficult game.
Yeah, a very difficult game, a very difficult week. But I suppose having Man City so soon after that, in this circumstance, is that not necessarily a bad thing?
You never know. To play against them always is, maybe it's not the right moment because they are so good during the whole season that it's quite complicated. But I said before, so that in January, if we were out of the bottom three, it would be good because we knew obviously that we have to play against Chelsea, we have to play against Manchester City and against Tottenham. So we will see if we can do well tomorrow, and then still we have too many games that we can compete, we can win, and we will try to start tomorrow.
Out with the 4-0 defeat against Liverpool, you've ran most of the top teams close in terms of the scoreline. So a lot of 2-1 defeats, 3-2 to Manchester United. When you now look at the goal difference, you've got a significantly better goal difference. As a result of that, do you think that has justified the way you've set the team up, the way you've played in those matches to ensure that you're still in all of these games towards the end and with a chance of getting something?
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that the analysis is so simple sometimes about just goals. And the way that we play against these teams, we score goals against some of them. And other teams that they were very offensive and playing expansive football, they didn't score. So it's a question of balance, and then people have to realize that balance means attack and defense well. And I think that we are well organized. Normally we are fine in defense, and we create some chances that we don't take sometimes. So then we have to keep this balance, create more chances, and be more clinical, like my players, they say and they know.
But that's almost like, when you look at the table now, it's almost like an extra point for you.
Yeah, it's like that.
Because you've played well in these games and you've been in with a chance.
We said, last year we said that 1 point could make the difference. This year is exactly the same. So then it has no sense to have a go and lose 6-1 and be happy with that because we had a goal, or lose 9-0. I know don't say that they said that, but you cannot do that because it's really bad for the confidence of your players. So you have to play games like we did against Manchester City, and we had chances and we scored our goal. That was a great goal. Or even against Chelsea here, we could draw easily because it was 3 minutes to go. So I think each one is managing the team that he has, depending on the characteristics of your players and the level of your players. You manage. If your players are much better than the other team, you will attack for sure. So I'm coming from top side, and we were attacking and we were scoring goals. But at the same time, balance is the key. And this group of players, when they do what they have to do and when they work hard, like we are quite strong, we are quite solid. And then sometimes we can win, sometimes we cannot. But you cannot complain about what they do. They try their best, we try our best. And if I make mistakes, we have more chances to lose. If I am right, we have more chances to get points and then stay up.
How are you in terms of injuries? Have you got any of the lads back who've missed the last few games?
Not really. The main ones, the midfielders, still they are very close, but not ready for this game. And the others normal situation, so more or less the same. Darlow is getting better, and I think he will be fine next week, or this week, sorry. And the only one we have lost is Joselu, that was a bad tackle, and then he has twisted his ankle. He's not serious, but he's not available for this game.
He's not available, and no Diame yet.
No Diame, no Shelby, no Key, no Dumet.
I know on Friday, and understandably so, with what was going on, you didn't want to talk about Lukaku, and then again you didn't want to post-match on Saturday. Are you able to explain at all what went on with that situation? Are you willing to speak about it? No, I will not talk about transfer window. I will continue not talking about players. I understand that. Can you tell us how difficult this week will be to try and do deals. As a manager in general, how difficult is it leading up to transfer deadline day when there's lots of teams looking for players and I suppose not as many players available and clubs will look at Newcastle and say there's a team who haven't done any yet. How difficult is it to trade in this short period of time?
I don't know because I don't do the deals, so I say yes or not depending on the policy of the club, and that's it.
As you understand it, are Newcastle still active in the market?
Yes.
So you're hopeful or something?
I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
Cheers.
Rafa, just thinking about the FA Cup briefly again, and there's the scheduling. Obviously, you would have liked to go through to the next round, but after fifth round weekend, that is the time when you have those big home games against Huddersfield and against Burnley. So, from that respect, that can be an advantage.
Yeah, I said before to play against Watford that the teams at the bottom of the table, they were more or less out of all of them out of the FA Cup. Means something. Now you can see still a lot of top sides there, so it's quite difficult. And we try to go through, and I was the first one disappointed because we play against a team, Watford, that they didn't play really well. So we could do a little bit better. We could go through and see what happened in the draw. So it was my idea. Try to do well, try to go through, but at the same time, you need to keep this balance also with your squad. And I think that we were capable to win. We didn't do it because we didn't play well, and that's it. We didn't create too many chances and we made mistakes, and we paid for that against a team, a Premier League team that was changing a lot of players. But that means at the same time that if they change 11 players and we change 7 and we cannot win, so it means something.
And can that be an advantage in terms of you will now have a weekend off with the fifth round, a little bit more time to perhaps prepare for Huddersfield, Burnley, perhaps go away with the players?
Yeah, obviously in terms of risk of injuries and then recover players and train properly to be sure that you have a good game plan and all these things, yeah, it's positive. But I don't say that after that because I'm really disappointed. I think that we could win this game.
Thinking about Manchester City, we were speaking to Solomon Rondon earlier and he kept mentioning the word compact. Will that be the key tactically against them?
Yeah, if you analyse, obviously I was watching some of the games, but if you analyse the way that they can play, and they have wingers, they have 3 or 4 of the fastest players in the Premier League. So then they can pass players, running, dribbling, they can play between the lines, they can play behind defenders, they are good at set pieces, they can defend really high, they can keep the possession. So why they won the title? Because they are a very good team. Why they scored so many goals? Because they are a good team, they have a good manager. So they have everything, but that is the difference now in the Premier League. And if we realise that, we'll try to use our strengths and our ways to attack or to defend and to counter-attack. That is like that. So I could see now with some players clips and teams that they are quite good, still they didn't have the ball, they didn't have possession, they didn't create chances against them. So we have to do really well, and if we do really well, we'll have a chance.
And you spoke about balance. Obviously that's something we've discussed quite a lot this season. I'm just wondering, at home at St James's Park, do you need to give the fans, particularly after the disappointment of going out of the FA Cup, do you need to give them something to really cheer and get behind, whether that's offensively or defensively, because there is appreciation for defence and good tackles going in as well?
Yeah, but again, it's not just defence. You have balance. For me means also to attack or to play good counter-attack. But depending on the player that you have, you can manage in one way or another way. So we talk about the fastest players in the Premier League. So if you play really high and then you have a goal and then you go and then you are on top of them, in 2 counter-attacks they can kill you. Then if you wait deep all the time, and they can pass the ball, and in a couple of mistakes they will kill you anyway. So you have to find this balance. Then we will try to attack, we will try to counter-attack, we will try to tackle, we will try to take the profit of the set pieces or whatever. But against Manchester City, see what happens. So I'm confident that we can do well, but at the same time we have to do everything perfect to have a chance.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Is this one of your biggest challenges of the season? I mean, it's fairly obvious that the champions and playing some amazing football, but tactically, is this one of the biggest challenges you're going to face all season?
No, not really. I think Cardiff City was a massive game, and Huddersfield before away was a massive game. And this one will be a massive game. If you are telling me it's more difficult to play against Manchester City than Chelsea, than Liverpool, or than Arsenal or Tottenham, they are very similar. They have so many good players that even if you are right tactically, you can lose. So the point here is that if we play with 3 defenders and then we concede 5 goals, you will say you were wrong. If we play with 5 defenders and you concede 1 goal, you would say, oh, you were right, but still you lose. So I want to win, I want to get points, and it doesn't matter the tactics, it doesn't matter what Pep will do or I will do. It depends on the players on the pitch that they can make the difference.
The top 2 in the Premier League are threatening to break away from the next 4, and the top 6 are certainly some distance away from the rest of the Premier League. Is that some concern to you as a manager in the lower half of the table? The gulf seems to be developing between the top 6 and the rest, as it were?
No, I think it's clear that with the money that everybody is spending in the Premier League, and especially the teams at the top of the table, they will be stronger and stronger. Then when you are right in 1 year and then you have a couple of good signings, then in the top 6, so you can be in the top 2. Then when you are wrong, you will be in the top 6 anyway, because you are stronger than the others. So that is very obvious, very clear from the last years, that if you have a lot of money to spend, normally you will have more success and you will sign better players, because that is the market.
But I suppose if you ever wanted to make a case of needing a stronger squad, you don't get it much more than a Newcastle versus Manchester City on a Tuesday night.
Yeah, but they say the difference between Manchester City, Tottenham, Liverpool, Arsenal is not, or Chelsea is not too big, so it's very similar, even Manchester United. So then we can compete against them if we do everything right. But again, when we talk about the whole season, so consistency means that the squad is strong enough. And now you have injuries, you have problems. Yesterday I was watching Tottenham and the commentators, if they have Dele Alli out and they have Keane out and they have Son out, they have problems in attack. Come on. So I was really surprised of these comments, but okay, we don't, or people, they don't realize that we have Key out, or Shelby out, or Diame out, or Dumet out, and they are key players for us.
And in terms of tomorrow night, how big a result would it be to actually, get a performance where you, if you don't get a draw, you actually put a performance in that takes you on to the rest of the weekend, rest of the season rather?
Yeah, we have done a lot of good games and still we couldn't win. So I'm not concerned about the performance of the team. I'm concerned about to get points. That's it. Then if we can do playing well, that is what we'll have to do. If not, no chance. Fine. If we cannot do that, at least to have the feeling that we were competing and we were close, and then we will keep the confidence for the next games. But now it's a question of to be sure that we are strong enough mentally for this game and for the rest of the season, because you can do well, you can lose, and still you have to compete. And I say it so many times, Fulham maybe will be the most important game of the season. Hopefully we can be ready if we go there to compete and to win.
And just a final one for me, do you think in any way the FA Cup has been slightly undermined by having a round of Premier League matches so soon after the 4th round?
It's a question for the FA, not for me.
Simon? Rafa, it felt that you had some momentum going into the weekend after the good result at Blackburn and obviously great result against Cardiff. How much of a disappointment is it that maybe a bit of the air has gone out of the balloon after the FA Cup?
Yeah, we can talk about that, obviously, because I think that the team was doing well, scoring goals, and for the confidence, what we said before, is good, but it's what you have. So I have seen a lot of teams in the Premier League losing in the FA Cup, and still they carry on, and we have to carry on. Okay, thank you. Cheers, thank you.